I think we are live. Yes, we are live. So, welcome everyone to this live stream. Today, I'm going to be talking to the language school photographer David Rose. So, it's language school photography to understand what is really important when we want to promote our school on social media, on the website, leaflets, and so on. So, welcome everyone. We have just started. So, if you are there, please let us know. Maybe with a comment, say hello in the comments, put an emoji. And in a minute, David will be joining us. In the meantime, let me remind you a little bit about what we're doing in this live stream and who I am for people that are new here. So my name is Gina Rodriguez. I'm the founder of GR School Marketing. So I work with language schools, supporting them in building and maintaining an engaging social media presence to promote their courses and help them sell their language courses. And I organize live streams with experts in various fields. And today is language school photography, because that's a very important part of your language school marketing. So as you join, please let us know that you are around. And if you're watching this on this live stream on replay, it would be great to know that you've been watching it, and maybe so leave a comment, a question. We'll get back to you if you have one. So let me welcome David. Let me just bring David in.
Hi, Gina.
Hello, welcome.
You okay?
All good here, thanks. How are you?
Very well, and we've got the sun shining today in sunny England, so which is a rarity this summer.
Oh, wow, and we've got cloudy skies here in Italy.
Seems to be a theme this summer, doesn't it? Yeah, okay.
So there you are. Well, thank you very much for joining today, for accepting to do this live stream, because I know it's a very busy period for language school photographers like yourself, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah, it certainly is. Yes, it's been quite a busy summer already, actually. So it's just juggling things and picking the right days and when the weather's nice, and so yeah, it's all good. Yeah, busy.
Brilliant. Well, let's get started. This live stream should last about 20 minutes, so we're going to be very focused on what we want to discuss and what we want to learn from Dave. Dave, first question for you is this. I mean, when I work with language schools, one of the questions I have is, should we take our photo with mobile phone? Should we have a photographer? What should we do? Obviously, I work with schools in terms of social media marketing.
Yes.
But what is your view? I mean, when would you recommend, when is the right time to bring in a language school photographer like you?
Sure. Yeah, good question. So obviously camera phones now are amazing. They're really good tools to use. And if you're producing content purely for your social media, so if you're Instagram, Facebook, then and you're out in the middle of activity or excursion, then by all means, that's the perfect tool really, to grab that moment when the students are having a great time, or they're at Stonehenge or somewhere, and you just want to capture that moment. Then mobile phones are perfect for that. Maybe a little bit of video clip as well. The quality is good now. So certainly for those sort of spontaneous moments, sort of out and about, I think are ideal really, for that sort of thing. But in terms of bringing in a professional photographer like myself, it's more a case of your full-on marketing shots for primarily brochures and websites and any sort of marketing material where the images need to look professional, polished, correctly exposed, and with some creativity involved. A little bit restricted with iPhones in terms of what you can produce in that sense, and also think about the lighting as well. So if I go into a classroom, for example, and take a shot with my proper camera.
That's a problem, isn't it? Classrooms when we have windows and
absolutely. So what you end up, and I've seen this a lot actually, you end up with sort of heavy backlighting from the windows, and the students' faces might be a little bit dark, or they might be a little bit blurring, where it's had to use a slower shutter speed to capture the image. So for example, yeah, if you want really nicely lit, crisp classroom shots, then that's where the professional comes in, and just general photography of the site, so showing the facilities, and what else is on offer. Really, I think it's just, my images help to sell the courses, and obviously, the websites for schools are their shop windows, or their brochures are their shop windows. So they need to be slick, they need to look professional, and also if you get some kind of branding into the shot, so that they are
that's interesting.
For that school, then that differentiates it from a stock photo, which there is a place for stock photography, but I think I could go onto a school's website, and the first image I see, I can straight away say, okay, that's a stock shot. It just doesn't look,
and it doesn't reflect the essence of the school, does it?
Absolutely, but and also your competitors could use that same image as well. There's nothing to stop them.
Oh yeah, that's a risk.
If you go onto a school's website and straight away you see a shot that's got smiling students, and they're wearing the lanyards with the branding on, or they've got water bottles with branding on, then straight away you kind of engaged with that particular school and those courses that are on offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's true. It actually reminds me of a website I saw recently, and it went to the website, and there were lots of stock photos, and the people in the stock photos were completely different from the kind of students that school would have. Yes. Yeah, so I think it's almost misleading, because
that's true. You've got to be careful. Yeah, and obviously everyone's perception of what is a good photograph varies. Obviously my standards are up here, but I would just say, if you are going to post images from mobile phones from excursions, just think about the light and maybe what's in the background of the shots, and make sure just everything's correctly exposed, and because obviously every image that you post is kind of representing your school and your brand, really.
Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because obviously if you are out and about, or if it is, for example, I would imagine if it is a school in the UK, Malta, wherever, where they have to grab that moment, and so that will be the school leader or the teacher or someone. You need some basic knowledge of photography. So we're talking about the light and the angle, but and I think so. What would you say, apart from the light and the angle? You were talking in your website. Let me just put it here. In your website, you were talking about capturing the magic.
Yes. Okay. So I've seen a lot of schools, they use photos of the facilities, where it's the classrooms or the dining room or accommodation or the common areas that may have been supplied by the universities or colleges that they're using for summer camps. And a lot of the time they're empty. There's no students in the shots, and it all looks a bit cold and a bit lifeless. So I'd say, get some students in there, but bring the whole scene to life, with students having fun, whether they're playing games or they're just chilling out in the common areas. It just makes such a difference when you see students actually using those facilities. I know, like I say, a lot of these images get supplied by the facilities, but that for me is the main thing, is just to show that life, really bring the magic of coming to learn.
Yeah, that's the experience I would imagine, for students.
And it's more, obviously everybody knows the inside of a classroom, and they know that they're coming here primarily to study English, learning, get better at their English, but that's only really half of it. It's the whole experience of being away in the summer, if it's a summer school, and just exploring all the different excursions and activities that are on offer. And I think that's what really sells the courses, not the classroom, the academic side of it. It's more about
that context of schools working with international students. Absolutely.
What's in the local area? What can I go and explore? Is there shops nearby? What can I do in my free time? How close is it to London, and that sort of thing.
Typical questions that they might have when
Or if lucky enough to be by the coast, then show it off, show them, the beach, or any nice gardens you've got locally. And I think that really sells, helps to sell the courses.
The course, yeah, it pushes the lead, down the pipeline for sure.
Absolutely. And again, show the students in those locations. So, take them down to Brighton Pier or Bournemouth, wherever the course might be, and get them involved and get them engaged, and show the world they're having a great time.
This is exactly what you need. I mean, it's great for putting that type of photo on the website, on your brochure, and also on social media, because half of it, I would say a good portion of it, it's showcasing what makes you so special.
Why would you want to study with us? That's set yourself apart from the competition.
Absolutely, That's a very good point. Just out of curiosity, how do you prepare for a photo shoot in a school?
Right. Okay. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the success of a photo shoot is down to the planning, and obviously with certainly the junior students, then consent is obviously a big factor in this. So we obviously need parents' consent first and foremost, that they are allowing them to be photographed whilst they're studying. A lot of schools have it built into their enrolment forms now, so there's a box to tick if you want to be excluded from any. But to be honest with you, most are fine. You may get in schools that the odd, half a dozen or so people that don't photograph them. They haven't given consent, but so obviously that's something that needs to be dealt with beforehand.
Absolutely. So you need time to know who has given consent and who hasn't given consent.
So obviously, that's something that the school themselves will get involved with. So that's all any sort of issues are ironed out before the day of the shoot. Also, a few days beforehand, it's good to identify some particular students that you think might work really well in the photo shoot. Maybe they're particularly confident, or they're in a nice group they've made, and there's some good chemistry there. That's always very good. If you just suddenly handpick a few students and put them together, and they don't even know each other, and maybe they're not communicating very well, this shot's going to look very staged and very wooden. The other important thing, and it's a real bugbear of mine, is, and I'm wearing black today, but don't wear black. Get students to get some bright colours. Get some bright colours. Even if it's white or greys are better than. I don't mind if one person's wearing black, but I've had it before where schools give me, here's your students for the shoot, and they're all wearing black. And it's like, and it makes such a difference. It really lifts the shots if you can get some bright colours.
True.
Into it. And it's mainly just finding students that are they're kind of keen to get involved, and most of them are, to be honest. Most of them are quite excited about being in photo shoots, and those that aren't, then it's no problem. You don't try and force it on them.
Sure. Well, that's interesting how you prepare.
So pre-selecting students are good, and obviously then just making sure that communal areas, are clean and tidy, classrooms are tidy, and if there's posters on the walls, then make sure they're looking tidy and things, and organising relevant activities that you think might work well in a photo shoot, whether it's football or rounders or try and get something that sort of engages the students. So
that happens that day, so that you can
and it's
capture the magic.
Yes, that's it, and it's important that it kind of happens naturally. So get sort of a structured activity going, rather than just sort of give them a couple of footballs and let them get on with it. So that would be an important part. In terms of excursions, sometimes a lot of time is lost just physically travelling between the school and maybe central London or wherever the excursion might be. So in my experience, what's worked best is if we select a small group of students and we kind of go on our own mini excursion, and we basically just run around and go to all the different landmarks that so it becomes more of a photo shoot than an excursion for the students. If the school's agreeable to that and the students are up for that, you may need to bribe them with some Domino's pizza or something similar. But like I say, most of the and it's a really, you can actually get through a lot of shots fairly quickly if you've got sort of a dedicated group with you.
If you can organize that, yeah, that's good. I was thinking as you were speaking, so that's brilliant. I think the way you plan and plan ahead and getting the consent and think about the time, etc. What would you if you had to do a photo shoot, for example, in schools here in Italy, let's imagine, right, where you don't have that component, but it depends on the school. But schools that teach English, for example, they teach English to local students, so there is not that component of excursions. However, schools that teach Italian to for example, English speakers, then they have that component. But let's imagine that you don't have that part of excursions, etc. It's more about the school, the life in the school, the type of courses. What would you do? What would be your strategy in that case?
So just concentrating on the schools themselves rather than sort of out and about doing those sorts of shots. Okay, again, so choosing the sort of the brightest classrooms, the nicest looking classrooms that are tidy.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
It's
true. You don't think about these things. And
it's an obvious thing to say, but actually there's quite a lot of clutter in classrooms.
Yeah, true.
Sometimes there's things on the wall that the students have been working on in the week. They've just kind of stuck them up, and it's fine. But then when you look at it in a shot, it's like, oh, it looks really untidy. So little things like that, just general clutter around it. I know I'm talking about an ideal world here because sometimes I have to just be clever with my angles to block certain things out. But yeah, it's basically just making sure that the areas you want to focus on, whether it's the classrooms or the general communal areas or facilities or dining room, for example, someone's just taking the time just to kind of scope it out and make sure that everything's how it should be. Or if there's particular areas that are not to be photographed, then just communicate that.
Right. I think this is great advice for schools taking their own photos, for example, to remember about the background of the photo, so no clutter.
So I would say certainly for this relates to classroom shots, things like water bottles or Costa coffee cups all over the desks. When you're just looking at the overall scene, when you're in the room, it looks absolutely fine. But when you actually see it in a shot, it can look really cluttered. So I tend to take all the water bottles off, phones away, coats off the back of chairs, and suddenly the whole thing just looks a whole lot cleaner. And it's just those little things, attention to detail.
You can breathe.
You can make a chaotic classroom look a lot more streamlined and a lot more organised and
pleasant. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thanks for sharing so much advice also to people that maybe cannot get access to a language school photographer like you. Do you do photo shoots only in the UK, or do you also travel abroad?
No, I have done several shoots actually in North America and Canada.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, for a particular school that had schools over there, and they always used to struggle with the American photographers to get the sort of the shots to look the same as what I was doing here. And so they asked me for some advice, like, what advice can you give to our photographers, and blah blah blah. And I said, well, it's not, I can actually go and do the shoot, for you if you like, because with other companies I work with some big brands that we do shoots overseas. As well as language school stuff, I do a lot of commercial and advertising photography. So traveling overseas is just not an issue really. I think they thought it might be a big deal, but actually it worked out, believe it or not, it actually worked out cheaper to send me to the States for a week than it was to use a couple of different photographers. I mean, the New York photographer, for example, their rates are astronomical. So maybe I'm missing a trick. Maybe I should move out to New York. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, don't be put off by that just because it's in terms of day rates, my day rates and expenses stay the same. It's just obviously the added
traveling expenses and ideally how long would you need? Like a day or two?
Yeah, it depends on locations, but normally a day's shoot is sufficient to capture everything I need, if we're organised. When it comes to a video shoot, that's different. There's a lot more prep involved in the video shoot.
Of course,
And it's a
yeah.
slower process, and it normally involves a slightly bigger crew. I can go off into a still shoot on my own. When it comes to video, I do need 3, maybe 4 crew members. There could be 2 or 3 cameras shooting at once, plus somebody doing sound.
I see. So
So it becomes a bit more of a production, and it needs to be slowed down a little bit to make sure that everything's captured.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I do a lot of videos as well. So that's another element that a lot of schools are including video content on their
and it's
page.
essential to have that on the
really
website.
and you can capture so much in even like a 30-second video. You can show so much, and it again brings it all alive. And it's definitely worth doing.
Oh wow, brilliant! Well, thanks a lot. So we have. I'm just gonna check if there are any comments here. Someone has.
Sure, yeah.
Apparently, let me just check. No, I think we're okay. Okay. So, well, as I said earlier, if you're watching this on replay later on and you have a question or you want to let us know that you've been around, please leave a comment. If you aren't in our network, please send a connection request. It would be great to connect with everyone. And well, Dave, I think we're about 20 minutes now. So we did a lot. It was very quick. Yeah, we did.
Nice.
So, well, thanks for sharing so much with everyone and clarifying points.
Just going to mention, I'll be at the English UK marketing conference in September. So if anybody wants to come and have a chat with me, I will be taking photos there of the event, but also I'll have an exhibition stand as well. So feel free to come along.
That's how we met last year, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed. And there's normally there might be a little bit of discount on offer if there are interested schools. So
that's great. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay.
So
so
feel free.
For everyone watching this, make a note. Okay, Dave is going to be there. The English UK. It's on Friday, the 27th, I think.
27th of September. Yes.
September. Yeah.
So,
I will be there as well.
Yeah. So it's good to bump into some old faces and some friendly faces there. So I thoroughly recommend it. If anyone's watching, they've not been to any of the English UK events, they are so worth going to. They're brilliant.
I love that. I love that conference last year. It was brilliant, and they're very good topics this year again. So that's a good one to go.
Yes.
Well, thanks a lot. I will tell everyone now that I'm just going to put this with you. Yeah. When we close the live stream, I will put a summary in the comments with all the links that you need, and we have mentioned also Dave's website, and obviously you can always DM us, send a direct message. Thanks again. It's been great talking to you.
Likewise, thanks so much.
And I'll see you in September.
Yes, see you soon. Yeah, okie dokie.
See you soon. Thanks a lot, and goodbye, everyone. See you soon. Stay tuned for more live chats.